Hey, welcome in, everybody. We thank you for joining this conversation. We think it's important to the community of Amarillo that you get a chance to hear, and we thank you all for being here today and hear from our candidates. Here's our deal. We didn't want you guys going on. You're not going to get a 25, 30-second soundbite when you gave like a 3 or 4 minute answer on television where they cut it down for you. So you have your chance to say what you want to say. So that's kind of why we're doing this. But Alex and I also want to applaud your courage. And I will say this once again, courage is the word, because you're putting your name out there, you know what I mean, to win a public office. And then your valuable time. Everybody's time is valuable. And so we just want to applaud you all for doing that. So that's how we want to get started. Now, this is going to be for place one. And we have Kelsey Richardson. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, what do you think?
It's a big production going on here. But
Sherie Wood, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing excellent.
Do you say Sherie or Sherie?
Sherie.
Sherie.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
And then Chip Hunt, how are you today? Chip?
I'm here.
We're glad. We're very glad. Dean, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks
Yeah,
for
yeah.
having me.
We appreciate it. And Josh, what's going on, man?
Well, it's very blessed to be here and appreciate you guys
Yeah,
doing this. Thank you.
thank you very much. So, yeah. So let's get started with this. We want to ask the first question. Which one did you want to go with, Alex?
The one you picked.
Okay. I left that on the other sheet.
You're the boss.
But yeah, we have, sorry about this, just a second. We have two first questions, but we enjoy this one first, if you don't mind. Instead of starting with each of you describing who you are, please describe the voter who would be inclined to vote for you, okay? And Kelsey, let's start off with you.
I think that
Thank you, Alex.
overwhelmingly, I went to a meeting downtown and talked to Jared Miller, and he said that about 80%, 85% of Amarilloans identify as Christians here, which I think is amazing. We're in the Bible Belt. And so for me, it would be people that have morals and good values that represent the Constitution in its whole. They want their voice to be heard. So I think the voter, overwhelmingly, they've been suppressed or ignored for so long. And so really, they're like a lion trapped in a cage. They're ready to have their voice heard.
Yeah, I like it. Sherie?
I feel that the voters, especially 80% of them, are older people, and they do go out and vote. And I do believe, as well as what Ms. Kelsey said, that they have morals and values when it comes to picking a candidate and who they should vote for. And so that's who I feel I think is going to be out there voting.
Chip?
I think that the voters that'll vote for me will be the ones that want common sense in the city hall nowadays, that want somebody with a lot of experience, knows how to take care of a budget, knows how to take care of the infrastructure and the crime rates that have been coming up over the years, because the larger we grow, the more crime we're going to get. And so I feel that just about any voter out there is going to vote for me.
Very well. Dean?
Well, I think that most voters really want to know that they can trust the people that they voted in, that are going to support them, that they trust that they're going to tell the truth, they're going to do the things that are core to our city, that the basic central city services are met, that we know how to budget and distribute the money appropriately to the things that make this city what it is.
Very well. And Josh?
Yeah, so, I'm a husband, father of two amazing children, lieutenant for Randall County Fire Department, small business owner and instructor at Amarillo College. And, I'm not doing this just because somebody convinced me or encouraged me to run for office. I'm doing this because I feel that I've been called to lead. And I think that's what the voters are looking for, leaders, natural born leaders. And in any organization, once your leadership starts to crumble, everything below it starts to crumble. And I think that's what the voters want, are just true grit leadership and honesty and integrity in their candidates.
Yeah.
Can I follow up?
Yes.
You talk about trust. I feel like you're alluding to trust. I feel like and in the other interviews we've done, it's come up. Where do you think we are on trust in our city?
Yeah.
Where are we?
I feel that we are lacking in transparency and accountability, especially with certain things that have happened here in Amarillo. The voters are not liking it because they feel like they're not being heard, and we need to listen to them and let them know that we're here for them. So yes, I feel that there is that lack of transparency.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I think some of the core issues that the voters have seen lately, simple things like trash pickup. I mean, everybody's mad about that. So
Yeah.
those are the core services I'm talking about. Those are the services that I think the voters want to see taken care of. And there's reasons for that. And we've got to strip down the reasons for that, either they're financial or whatever the case may be. But those are the things that I think that they want to trust us to manage what the taxes are here for, which is just the core services, firefighters, police, trash pickup, animal care, infrastructure, things of that nature. I think they want to trust that we do that as opposed to, they obviously didn't voted down the Civic Center issue. They don't, and then we tried to get it done, and inappropriately, I think everybody thought that was a trust issue when you boil it down to trust. And so the voters have to decide these things. So I think that's kind of the biggest issue.
And I think the hard part is they do show up at the voting booth.
Sure.
And then our current city government just flat out ignores it and looks for loopholes. And so people really want to know that their vote matters. There's a reason that we have that kind of system in place. So whenever we had the bond election, I went door to door talking to people like, what do you think about it? Are you going to vote for it, or are you opposed to it? And there were so many people that said, I don't even vote anymore. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
There's no point in voting.
Mm-hmm.
And that boils down to literally just there's no trust in the system. It's not even necessarily the people or the topic. There's no point because it's going to happen or not happen anyway.
Yeah, they don't trust politicians. They don't trust elected officials a lot of times because we haven't earned it.
Mm-hmm.
As elected officials, especially over the last several years, it doesn't matter what the public says. We do what we want to do. I say we, the city
I was
officials.
gonna say, you're being very generous to say we.
Yeah.
It wasn't you.
Yeah,
No, it was
not
not
me.
Chip.
Not me. I had no say so. They don't listen to me. But the councils we've had over the last several years, I'd say the last decade, if not the last 2 decades, have not listened really to anybody but their own selves and looked out for them own selves. So therefore, they have broken all trust with all voters. And trust is something that you've got to have if you're going to be a good leader, because to be a leader, you have to have followers. And if those followers don't follow you, you're not a leader.
Yeah. Josh, have anything?
I mean, they hit a lot of it. But
Yeah.
just to touch on
That's all,
that
yeah,
is,
no.
It's a disadvantage in this
Yeah.
one to go last.
Last, yeah. No, you've heard it all, but your
and
thoughts.
I agree
man.
with a lot of things they've said, and trust has to be earned again. We've hit on the Civic Center and things like that. Once we violate voters, it's done. It's gone. We have to reestablish that, and we have to do it effectively. And we have a unique opportunity now to have just a whole new city council, and we need strong people in there to reestablish that.
Trust issue's been a big one, Alex, throughout.
Yeah.
I think that's what the voters are going to have to decide. Dean, I've got one for you. You developed your personality. You've developed a lot of relationships with a lot of people during your business career. You know what I mean? So some of those people are involved in city affairs and even affiliated with local political action committees. How are you going to handle situations when you find yourself at odds with your friends or business partners over a city council decision?
Well, I think I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if you're talking about the political action committees like Amarillo Matters or whatever, but yeah,
That would be one.
I'm assuming one of those.
Yeah.
I'm assuming some of those people are my friends. That I hope I get their votes. and support. But I'm here to work for the people. I'm here to work for all of the taxpayers of Amarillo. I'm here to do the things that are core to our city. And that if it's outside of that, I'm not going to let anybody tell me what. I want to hear everybody's stories. I want to hear what everybody has to say. I want to hear what everybody's needs are. But the bottom line to me is my business experience and budgeting and my relationships and things like that. I think I have the ability to listen to everybody and then make the right decisions that are in the best interest of the city. And that's what I plan to do. It's all about, to me, it's all about the money, the budget. We have a certain amount of money, and we got to spend it in the right places. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Or again, as a committee, as a council, we're going to have these budget meetings, and we're going to work through those. And that's going to be my time to say, because I've done multi-million-dollar budgets, and I've been the guy challenging everybody on why didn't you expense for this, or why is your revenue too low, or whatever the case may be. And that's where I want to get to first, is making sure that our budget is where it needs to be, that supports our core services and our infrastructure and prepares our city for the growth that I think we're about to see. There's more good things happening in Amarillo than there is bad, I promise you. And with the ADC doing what they do, it's been fantastic. Our infrastructure has problems just the way it exists today. We got to fix those, and we got to fix but prepare for that future growth. And so whatever that may be in other political action committees, I want to hear what they have to say. That doesn't mean I'm going to listen to it.
Okay, that's very fair. Chip, you seem to be focused on health and well-being of our senior citizens. I just turned 65, so I can relate to that one, okay?
Are you really 65?
Yeah, I'm really 65, Alex.
And I'm still older than him.
But is that correct? And would you like to kind of expound on that, if you don't mind?
I think that I am quite concerned about the elderly and how things have impacted them and stuff. They do need to have it. The crime rate has affected them a whole lot. And it's not just the people on the telephone that are trying to gouge them. The city grows and has grown, and it needs to grow. But nobody's done anything about the infrastructure. Nobody's done anything to bring our police and fire departments up to the level they need to be to respond quickly enough and to have enough firemen and police at any given time to take care of these problems. And it's not just the elderly, it's everybody in Amarillo has felt the impact of these crimes and these being left out there to hang. And this is more where I'm very focused at trying to fix these situations and make sure that the police and the fire department have the things that they need to react better and to react more timely and to get rid of our serious crimes. And actually, totally impossible to get rid of all crime, but
it's not going to happen. Yeah,
I speed. I don't care. But
no, that's fair. Yeah. We do mark that down. Chip speeds, okay? So
every police officer in this town
knows you.
That I speed.
That's I like your honesty.
I don't.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
I know a lot of them, and I don't make any bones about it. I have a lead foot.
Oh, that's cool. That's
in college, I was known as Maria Andretti.
All right, Josh, this is for you. You're a fireman, you mentioned, for the county, not the city.
For the county.
And the Firefighters Association has, I think there's some formal name, but they've endorsed you. It's like some number. You know what
542.
it is? 542 Firefighters Association has endorsed you. Tell us how you'll approach city council discussions about the Amarillo Fire Department and their salaries and whether we should invest in them, and how do you go about that? Being one of them.
Yeah, so it's a unique dynamic, of course. Because those are my brothers, obviously. And I think first and foremost, it's going to have to start with the transparency. And looking deep inside that budget and tearing it apart to see if, when that time comes when it's them or APD or any public safety or anybody for that matter is asking for raises or they feel like they deserve more money. And we have to support them 100%. And it starts with tearing into the budget, see where we can allocate funds. If so, and I'm not saying that we need to shut down any quality of life services, but if there's extra revenue at the end of a budget year, or if we're anticipating a lot more revenue, then we really need to focus on those things. Those services matter to the citizens of Amarillo, because at any moment's notice, even as trash or, in a sense, when we're talking about police and fire, is when 911 is called, I know the citizens are going to expect somebody to be there in a timely manner and efficiently. And I also I believe that dives even more into retention, because if people are coming to want to work in Amarillo and then all of a sudden they want to go work in Dallas or somewhere else because they make more money, we have to be competitive and stand behind that. So, but I think it all starts back down into being transparent.
Josh, being in the inside of that, is that an issue? Is that a major issue with the firefighters?
With retention?
Yes. I mean, the opportunities outside, do they flee to those other places?
Honestly, they do sometimes.
Yeah.
Because that's just 100% being honest with you.
Yeah.
And with my position at where I'm at now in my job, is we hire people, and when the candidates aren't there, we have nowhere else to turn.
Yeah. Interesting.
Can you be objective when you're evaluating whether your brothers ought to give a 20% raise or a 10% raise?
Yes. Yeah, I can be objective. Because, if 10%, 20%, how's that going to affect the rest of Amarillo or the rest of the city resources?
Very good.
Sherie, if you could pick only one group to endorse you, okay, what group would you pick?
You could have any endorsement you want.
Yeah.
What's the one you'd say, this is who I would pick, and then we're going to ask you why.
I would hope to choose the West Texas education because I am with the schools. I'm for the schools, basically. I am for school choice. I believe that a parent has the right to choose where their child should have their education, and whether it's public school or private school. So I feel that the WT education would be a great one for them to endorse me, because I am for them, and just basically they're for them. So yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Excellent
very
stuff.
good.
Josh and Kelsey, this is for you. What do you say to those who think you're too young, or don't have enough experience to be on the council?
We need people with stamina that are ready to go up and fight for the citizens. So, the Bible says it basically. It doesn't matter how old you are. The Lord used David against Goliath, and he was a young fighter. I don't think my age has anything to do with it. It doesn't have anything to do with how competent I am or how willing I am to stand up for the citizen.
Well, I'm just going to warn you right now, I may get passionate about this. So
How old are you, Josh?
I'm 28.
28. How old are you, Kelsey?
32.
We kind of picked on y'all.
Yeah. Well, didn't mean to pick on you. Just,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
people.
all right. It's a fair question.
You guys look
Yeah.
great.
Shep,
young
Shep.
one.
No.
I don't know how old you are. You said you're older than Lance, so maybe we have to ask Dean too compared to you. Go
He's younger than me too.
ahead.
Dean's definitely younger. Yeah, go ahead.
So honestly, with the ages, I view that as a big strength. I think that I truly believe that as a whole, we lack young leadership. And if you sit and look at my generation as millennials, I think is what they call them. I've attended a lot of conferences and leadership stuff through work and like that. And the common dynamic of it all was, well, millennials, they don't contribute to society. They're always on their phones and all that. And I'm stepping into this, and I'm going to prove that that's not the case. That there are people out there that can lead. And we need more young leaders. And even deeper into that is, if you look at our voting base in Amarillo, is we all know it's 65 and older, and their taxes are frozen. And those are the ones that are going to be making the decisions for my family, for all young families. And I want to step into this and bring a fresh perspective to City Hall.
Very good. Could I go like a little off on a tangent?
Yeah.
I feel
Go right
this is a
ahead.
question we asked somebody else, but I feel like I'm hearing a little bit. Several of you guys have talked about leadership, and we asked the mayor group, so I'll alter the question a little bit. You know, on the city council, you're leaders, you know, of our city. You know, the mayor may be seen to be the kind of, you know, main face, but all those people are leaders. So I think I would love to hear, like, we'll let you not go last, we'll let you go first, Josh, but tell us what you would say, if you can do it in a minute-ish, your leadership philosophy.
Oh, wow. Man, that's a good one. No matter how many books you read or any conferences you attend to, you're their leader or you're not. You know, and with the unique perspective, and I was fortunate enough early in my career to promote to the rank of lieutenant. And there's a lot of hard lessons that I had to learn. You know, we can't just, in my line of work, if we pull up to something, we can't just turn around and go home and say, sorry, I can't help you. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
And just the leaders I've been around and the people that I admire have shown me what true grit and humbleness and true servant style leadership is. Knowing that anything that I do, as long as it benefits them, that's all that matters, whether you get the credit or not. You know? And knowing that at the end of the day, come hell or high water, that we get down in the trenches with them and we rise from that. And that's just kind of my philosophy. And I wish some of these things that words can't really explain. That is just how it is. And I know I sound like a rambling jukebox right now.
No.
But,
Not at all.
you know.
When you
and-
see it, you know it.
Yeah, and when you see people in their darkest moments or their darkest times, and just the minimalist impact of maybe a hug or doing something, you know, fire-related, the amount of change that it may have on somebody's life is just powerful. The amount of change that I could possibly have on the citizens of Amarillo as one of their leaders or elected officials is just powerful and it's mind-blowing.
Good.
Good.
That's good.
I teared up a little bit.
Yeah,
was gonna
I
say-
get, I get passionate about
That's
it.
tough to
that
follow.
was-
It's pretty good.
No, I think a leader exudes certain characteristics that people want to follow. Being kind, being trustworthy, and leading by example. You know, I think those are the things that a leader should do. And they, you know, work hard.
Yeah.
Work hard. See people. You know, people see you working hard for them, working hard for the cause, working hard for the greater good of the people. Then I think that's where people tend to follow. So.
I don't like him.
You like him?
Too good of an
What did
answer.
I do? Answers.
Oh.
Well, say it the way you
No,
say it. It's fine.
It's Dean's right. Okay, it's leadership is leading by example. Okay, and bringing the other people in and letting them have their voice as well. And, you know, coming to a medium and showing them that they're just as worthy. But to lead, you have to be the one who can actually take everything that they say and then say, okay, these are all the things, but this is what we have to do and to get there. And leadership is strictly by example. I've been, of course, in my 69 years,
Ah, so
I
now
have-
we know.
yeah, on May 6th.
Nice.
So,
Election
oh,
day.
yes,
Yeah,
I've
good.
told them that
Of
it's
course.
an omen.
You'll be
It's an omen.
69 or 70? You'll
I'll be 69.
Okay.
But they, I have had and started lots of different businesses, and I have run lots of businesses very successfully. And a leader is somebody who isn't out there telling you what to do or what you need to do. A leader's saying, give me all of your information. And then digging in, getting the facts, getting the figures, and figuring out how we can accomplish what is the best thing for everybody, because there's going to be as many different ideas out there as there are human beings.
Yeah.
And so, and everybody has a different idea on what a leader is.
Cherie?
I was a manager of a fast food restaurant, so I know what it's like to lead a group of people. I'm going to take a tangent on this one, but I know people believe that the mayor and the city council are the leaders, but I believe that the people are the leaders. I believe that we follow them because they are the ones that bring us to where we need to be when it comes to the voting. They're the ones who vote for us, and when we do things for them, we're doing it because they want us to. And I feel like, being a leader is, following in the people's footsteps. They're the ones who are bringing us there, so I feel like the voters, the citizens of Amarillo are the ones who are the leaders, and we're the followers.
Very nice.
I very much agree with the way Josh worded it. I think really what it boils down to is recognizing you can't do everything on your own, and that we need to represent the voter. So to lead them, we need to be able to have open conversation and discussions with them and see what exactly it is that they want pushed forward. And again, we lead by example, but we also need to recognize that when we lead, it needs to be with their voice going in front of us and not our own intention or ideas.
Very well.
Yeah, that's good. Are we going to the next one?
Yeah.
Because I want to go off again until another.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
I'm intrigued by, Dean, you've said this a couple times. You've talked about these core things that city ought to do, and I don't want to. I'll let you answer, but I feel like I hear almost getting back to maybe the basics or just the things expound on that, and then I'm going to see whatever other people are thinking about that. But what is there about that? You've said it a couple times.
Well, I mean, it's I use the term core services or central city services. I mean, the taxpayers, we pay property taxes for certain things, and there's a list, and some people's list is this long, some people's list is this long, but it's fairly binary on what we pay taxes for. And for fire, for police, for streets, for drainage, for sewage, for water, for animal care, for parks, just the list goes on. And some of those are quality of life things like parks and things like that I think we need. I think we need in this community, absolutely. We want people to be attracted to live in Amarillo, Texas. But the bottom line is, and then there's certain things that we want. We want, a new civic center or whatever the case may be. But to me, I want to make sure that those core services are taken care of appropriately. And I know we've all talked about, and we all know that we've got, deficits in fireman salary. We've got deficits in police, either salary or we don't have enough of them. We're the, per capita in most like kind quality cities, we're higher in crime than most and lower in number of policemen than most. What does that tell you? That's a gap that's just a big red flag. Mm-hmm. So those are the core services that I'm talking about. And
you're saying you think they need attention.
They need attention. We need to figure that out. I think we all know that we've got close to $1 billion in infrastructure issues, aging infrastructure in our community. We've got 7,500-year-old water lines and sewer lines in this city, and those aren't going to last. I mean, absolutely are not going to last. We got to figure out where to get the money in the current budget to do that. Now, hopefully, with our growth, where our revenue is going to increase just organically through that, and the last thing in the world anybody wants to do is raise taxes. We don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm not planning to do that. So I think we need to find the money where it's at and redistribute the money that we have. We got to find it somewhere. And I know there's a lot of people that have stripped that budget before me, And it's not like I'm going to be, any of us are going to be some saving grace of finding money hidden in a hole somewhere. But
Yeah.
but we got to figure out where to spend that money that supports the core services that the taxpayers really want. Let's pick up the trash twice a week. How about that? So that's that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Anyone else on that? Another thing I heard about that is you kind of made a differentiate between needs and wants.
Right.
Anyone else want to comment on?
Yeah. If the foundation of our city isn't secure first, whatever we build on top of it will crumble. So we need to make sure, like he's saying, all the core services and our infrastructure is set like it needs to before we keep adding in all these extracurricular things.
Yeah. And that, and just back to that as well, is like if you sit and remember the trash service, that affected everybody in Amarillo, regardless of where you live, regardless of anything. And so I think that was a very eye-opening experience for a lot of people. And on that is, I think they weren't transparent enough, letting us know that in time. Because that stuff like that just doesn't happen overnight. Hey, we're shutting out, trash service. And on top of all the other core services, like Dean said, is I think people are seeing where our lacking issues are. And on top of going behind the voters' back on the Civic Center, that they will understand that we need to get back to the basics with our core services before we can start worrying about everything else.
Yes.
And especially, I'm not saying by no means we don't need a new Civic Center or anything like that, because that's quality of life. But once we can capture those objectives, we can start formulating plans for the future.
And I definitely see where Dean's talking about the public safety situation with the law enforcement and the fire department, because I was told that Lubbock law enforcement is making a whole lot more than what our Amarillo law enforcement's making. So we need to definitely take a look at the budget, see what we can do to give them a wage increase, as well as look at the COLA, the cost of living adjustment for the retirees. Because they're just as important, because they've served our citizens well long enough that they deserve to be compensated for that. So I'm definitely for the public service on that one.
And having been a victim of violent crime last year, it hits home to me a lot. And over the 20 years I've had my store, I've listened to all of Amarillo, different crimes, break-ins where nobody comes and even takes a report for 3 or 4 days and stuff. That tells me that there is not enough police force to cover the growth of Amarillo. And I think every Amarilloan out there knows that we really need to focus more on our police force, fire departments, and such like that. We need to attract them in, the younger people that are getting out of high school and stuff that aren't going to go straight into college or something like that. We need to make it more attractive for them to want to be a police officer or a fireman, and I don't think that is always just money thrown at them. While money is good, there are other things that make it better. And one thing, we have to make the police department not look like the national news is portraying every police department. Our police department's really pretty good. They're just short-handed. And they are our neighbors, they're our friends, they're relatives of each and every one of us. So I really think that we need to support them maybe in other ways and then find the money in the budget to help them and make our budgets not do frivolous spending that we don't absolutely have to have. It's just like when you do your own budget for your own house. It's just on a higher scale.
Yeah.
You have to budget your own house. You have to say, I got to pay the utilities. I've got to pay my mortgage. I've got to pay my insurance and my car bill. I don't have to run out and buy new clothes every day. I have to buy groceries, but I don't have to go buy new shoes every single day. you know, and this is your needs and your wants.
Okay, ready
I
to
get
go?
to hijack it one more time,
Go.
okay? A lot of conversation today, and I really respect it, has been about trust and transparency, okay? So if you're elected, convince me right now why I could trust you and you'll have transparency on that board, okay? Let's start here.
Tom Sherlin had a really amazing idea that I loved, which is having town halls or forums, things like that, once we're elected, where the citizen can come to us and have a face-to-face conversation. A lot of times people are relying either on mail or Facebook or forms of media like that to get in touch with their elected representative, when really what it comes down to is shaking hands and having a good conversation with people. If I'm elected, I'll make sure that I'm available to the people if they want to talk to me. I have my cell phone published where people can call me. I answer every time. Sometimes I wish I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I
Don't we
just
all?
plan to make myself available entirely. And like I said, I'm doing this to give the voice back to the voter, and that's what I aim to do.
Very good. Sherie?
I believe in single member districting. So I believe that we should add at least 2 or 3 more people to the city council. That way every district is covered. I do believe in town halls as well, to where we can have town hall meetings anytime the residents need to have them done. That way we can talk to them. They can talk to us, let us know what's going on. We can have a conversation back and forth and, you know, get to have their opinions. That way we can talk to ourselves and be able to say, this is what's going on. We need to rectify this. We need to fix this. And we need to let these voices be heard. My motto is rejuvenating Amarillo, rejuvenating the people. I don't know if you've seen that on my bill before, but we need to rejuvenate Amarillo again. And once we are there for the people, our voice, let their voices be heard, then they'll know that you will know that I am being more transparent with you and holding myself accountable for my actions.
Chip, transparency and truth. How can you convince me that that's what we'll get if
Trust,
you're elected?
trust.
Trust, yeah, sorry.
Truth.
We're good for truth. It's
Truth
good
is pretty
truth.
good
That's kind of
too.
part of it.
Truth?
That's what, yeah.
I'm planning on being
The
a
triple
politician when I
threes.
grow up. What do you
Yeah,
want,
yeah.
truth? Transparency. I've always been an open book. You know, I mean, anyone who knows me knows that I just don't ask me to keep a secret because my mouth's running and it's real hard for me to keep any kind of secrets. The people of Amarillo all know that I've always been extremely accessible they show up in the store, sometimes not even to shop, just to sit there and talk to me. I've always been. I think that being transparent as a city council person, one, I'm going to still be at my shop a lot, and they can come talk to me anytime. I think that the whole council should look at maybe having nighttime meetings occasionally, and I don't mean at 5 o'clock when downtown's getting off from work, but 6:30, when a lot of your other businesses are closing down, is it more
Yeah.
feasible? I think that's going to show them some transparency that they're going to be able to come and see you and talk to you. I think that maybe some different town hall meetings, or maybe just periodically going out and having meetings with the people saying, hey, you know,
Yeah.
I'm over here, I'm willing to talk to you. Or us going out to other businesses and saying, hey, I just stopped by. I wanted to see how things were going around here. You got any complaints about what's going on with the city? You got any complaints about me? You know,
Yeah.
you know, actually see what they say.
Very good, very good. Dean?
Well, I think it's going to be, you know, pretty obvious that anybody in this place that's elected, actually all places, because they're all new to the council.
Very
It's
true.
going to take us a while to get educated ourselves. So, as much as is available for for viewing online or at the city. It's all there. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so it's going to take us a while to get educated. But so it's going to, I kind of look at it as, our first 6 months or a year, it's going to take me just that time to get educated and understand what the real issues are. I think I understand now, but there's things I don't know, I guarantee you. So being transparent means, that we have to educate the people on what those issues really are. And I think in a less overwhelming fashion. And town hall meetings are a good thing to do that. Maybe a more of a simple portal to get the basics of the budget information, the actual top 10 topics or issues we have are, and get the feedback and be available. My phone number's there too, my website, give people the opportunity to give their feedback. But I think educating our people on what these issues really are, I think matter. And then by providing that education to them, I think you'll get a little bit better buy-in if in the solutions on how we fix those.
What about it, Josh?
So first with transparency is obviously opening that line of communication with the citizens of Amarillo. I don't necessarily think that just doing a press release and posting on the internet is good enough transparency. We have to make ourselves available. We have to talk to the citizens, and I think that once you open that line of communication, that starts to build your trust factor. And also kind of shifting that culture to a customer service based within the city, and be held accountable for the things you say that you're going to do or the things that you oversee. I think that'll help build trust tremendously. And having a backbone.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I think we go to the hall.
Yeah, okay.
Is that okay?
We've got this one for all you guys. If the election were held today, putting you on the spot here, who would you vote for mayor?
Cole Stanley.
Cole Stanley.
Cole Stanley.
Cole Stanley.
Cole Stanley.
Oh, wow. Cole's going to be a happy camper. All right.
We
Alex, you
didn't think that would be a 5-0.
No, not even
Yeah.
close.
We were hoping.
Not even close.
But okay, yeah, Cole. We shouldn't tell Cole this.
No,
his head will
his
get
head
too big.
way too big. You guys made his
Okay,
day.
this question we kind of asked. We asked this question, and we'll tell you where we're headed with it because there's a lot of diversity in this group related to, financial resources to run a campaign, and we think that issue is relevant, mostly because sometimes in the past, if people could get connected to where some money was, they just had an advantage. And not saying that was good or bad or nefarious or whatever, but there's a little routine that you run around and find the people who give the money, and if you get their support, you're pretty good. So my question is, in that context, is of all you all, who has a campaign manager
I do.
or a consultant?
And I can tell you why too, if you want to know.
Any knows who?
I don't have. I'm
don't?
running
You're
mine.
no,
I'm
you're
running
no.
my own.
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, that's cool.
When,
Okay.
when I can force them to show up to talk to me.
You want to
I mean, I can,
it?
Speak to it, yeah.
I can tell you why as well. Is, getting into this, I had no idea what I was jumping into.
Fair.
I'm all for hiring people that know more than me and just surrounding myself with people that I can learn from. That's one of the big things. And also is I had to convince, well, not exactly convince, but, my campaign manager, she took me on not even knowing if I was going to raise enough money to even pay her. And it's mind-blowing, and I'm thankful for the stuff she has done, but it's incredible.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Can I answer a little more on
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
I chose not to because I'm a penny pincher. I want to save money.
Okay.
I'm very, very frugal. Same thing with my website. I designed my own website. I'm not going to spend money unless I have to. So even though I don't know what I'm doing, there's plenty of folks that have done this or resources available to figure out what I need to do. So yeah, I haven't, and I won't.
Mine's
There.
not paid.
Very fair. Very fair.
Dean, did you answer?
No, I did. I answered it. Yes,
Oh,
I do
you-
have
you
one.
have one.
Yeah. Same reason that Josh is. I think it's all of our first times to run for anything in our lives.
Not
And
Chip, she's done it before.
have you done it before? I'm sorry. I should have known that.
And I've had several people begging me for years to run for city council.
And here you are.
Yeah, well, the people who are kind of trying to help me, they talked me into it.
Go ahead.
No, I was the same thing as I have no clue how to run a campaign at all. So I just sought some advice and hired somebody that has done it before, and they've been very helpful.
Very good.
Yeah, we're good. We're so thankful for you guys to take your time out of your busy day to let us know what's going on, especially in this place one race. We do want you to get this, and let's keep these around a minute, 90 seconds if you don't mind. But we want to give each of you a chance to just give us a statement. If you have something that we didn't ask you that you would like to talk about, or just let people know why vote for me. So we'll just go down the row if that's cool
Okay.
with you, Cal.
Yeah. So the reason I did this is I felt led by God. I'm born and raised in Amarillo. I absolutely love this town, and I see the immense potential that we have to be a shining city on a hill. I want to show the country what it means to be fiscally responsible and held accountable for your actions by your city. I want to give the voice back to the voter, and I want people to have confidence in the systems that we have in place again. I'm doing this genuinely because I have the heart of a servant, and I want to serve my community.
All right.
Sure.
Well, I'm from Amarillo as well, born and raised. I was born at the actual Southwest Osteopathic Hospital, which is no longer around
Exists, yeah.
anymore. But graduated from Amarillo High, and I'm jumped into this race because I saw that there was an opportunity for me to get in once the other 5 decided not to run for their own stuff again. So I decided to go ahead and jump in, get in there, get myself a chance to get out there to the people and see what it is that they want to change in Amarillo, and see if I can actually make a difference for those people. I am doing this on my own as well. My husband is my supporter, so I love him dearly for everything that he's doing for me. And my oldest daughter, is also there for me, so I'm glad that she's supporting me as well. But I'm just grateful and thankful to the Lord that He has also helped me become a part of this, because it's something that everybody takes for granted, and you have to take a look at what you've got around you. And this is a beautiful city here, and I believe that the voice of the people, we need to be there for them, and that's why I jumped into it.
Chip?
I was not born here, was not raised here. I come from a Navy family that was raised all over the place, and therefore I bring a lot of new perspectives from other things that are not necessarily already here. I chose to move to Amarillo by myself with nothing. I mean, literally nothing but my dog. And because I had been out here twice to visit as a tourist, and I loved this little town. It's kind of like adopting a child. You adopt them because that's your soul, and this is my soul. And I want to give back to Amarillo what they've given to me when I came here. And I think that I would be super fantastic for Amarillo because I do have a lot of common sense. I am a penny pincher. I've always had to be extremely frugal and know where to find each little penny there is and squeeze it, as my mother used to say. So that is where I'm coming from.
Very good, very good. Dean?
Well, I think what I bring to the table, I think, is a little bit of maturity, a little bit of business, a lot of business experience. I was born and raised in Amarillo also, over on Klein Street, went to Lawndale Elementary School and Ridgecrest and Bonham, and then Mom and Dad divorced and I moved to San Antonio for about 3 years, but I moved back to go to WT and Amarillo College. And and then I couldn't afford to go to Texas A&M, so I ended up staying here, meeting my wife of 35 years, and so I love Amarillo. I've been here ever since, and Amarillo's been great to me, and I think I've worked here for 16 years, worked with Alex for a couple of years, and at a corporate deal, and I've owned my own business for the last 16 years. So I know how to do budgets. I know how to manage money. I know how to manage strategically. I know how to manage in the trenches as well. And so I think I bring a lot to the table in that respect, and that's what I want to do for the citizens of Amarillo, is just that.
Yeah, very
So,
good.
thank
Very
you.
good. Josh.
Yeah, you know, I love Amarillo, and I think in the World's Foundation now is I think there's a difference in what you say online versus what you're actually going to do, and I'm standing here to tell the voters today I'm going to do it. And also is I don't I lost my train of thought on that one.
You're good. You're
I was
good.
getting into it, but
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just talking about.
yeah, I'm answering a call from God to lead on this, you know, and you know, my job it takes a lot of work, and I have a young family, and I'm willing to step into this role and take those reins and lead the city.
Very, very good.
Good job.
Yeah. We thank you so much for coming in, like I said. And those are the place one candidates. Most of all, we just want people to go out and vote. That's what we want to see. And we hope you enjoyed the conversation today. I know Alex and I did. And I keep saying this, but thank you so much for your time today. So
Yeah.
hope
Thanks
you
for
enjoyed it.
having
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
Thanks, Lance.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Alex.
Have a great day.
Thank you, guys.